Do I give a fuck?
I say no, but let's be honest. I'm peanut butter and jealous right now. I'm talking to my buddy Brandon Cristal with Guerrilla Sports. I forgot he left KOA. I think reluctantly, but either way, he left KOA. He's with Guerrilla Sports. Great place to check out some great Colorado sports content. But anyway, he's out in New Orleans, and I'm talking to him via text. And it's just like, I'm like sitting there going, God, I wish I was out there. I told you guys, for the food is great, but I'm like seeing the stuff that they're putting out on social media, and I'm thinking, oh God, I remember that place because that was the first Super Bowl I covered was in New Orleans back in the day, and I'm sitting there going, oh, I'd love to be doing this right now, getting this footage. Here's the thing, it does get kind of boring out there if you're not with the right people. But if you're with the right people, it's so much fun to cover a big sporting event like that. But I think the last couple times I went out there, everybody else was doing their own thing, and I was kind of like by myself, all alone, sitting in the corner playing with my wiener. That's what I was doing, trying to figure out what to do and like bouncing ideas off myself because everybody else had their own thing to do. So I'm very peanut butter and jealous right now when it comes to talking to my buddies in the media that are out at Super Bowl week. It's a great time out there. Like I said, it's a great, fun environment. One thing that I'll tell you before we get into the show, like I said, we have a lot of great stuff to get into today. A fun story. I was hanging out with Alfred Williams, name dropping. Hanging out with Alfred Williams and I want to say a couple other guys from the station. And we're at this restaurant. Anywhere you eat in Louisiana, it seems like is a great place. I was out there for 7 days. I want to say it was. And every single meal was top notch. It was delicious. And I'm sitting next to Al and he gets some fish. I don't know what fish it was. Whatever the hell I got, half the people at the table are like, oh, okay. Cliche. It must have been like catfish or something like that. It was delicious. I just remember it was delicious. And then whatever Alfred got, it was this fish, but it had like thick ass bones. Like what the fuck is it mixed with like a warthog? It was insane. Like the size of the bones on this fish. But he loved it, right? But what was funny is, do you guys remember Bubby Brister, the former backup quarterback for the Denver Broncos and played for multiple other teams? He's from Louisiana. He has that Cajun accent, and him and Alfred are buddy-buddy. It was fucking hilarious because he was maybe 10 feet away from us at a different table, and him and Al were just constantly talking back and forth, and Bubby is just like Alfred, very contagious laugh and just high-end personality. And it was one of the funniest freaking things ever because they're like, he's like saying stuff in his accent. He's like, no, I can't. I don't even know what a Cajun accent sounds like, but it's not that. Not what I can do. But they're goofing around, and Alfred just starts giggling and laughing. And everybody at the table is laughing. It was such a fun thing. Another thing, again, before I get into the show, is I can't tell you the guys' names. I can't tell you. But two legendary NFL players. I knew one of them, and the other one was friends with that guy. Player number one, I knew. Player number two, I knew of, but never actually met. And I remember it was Thursday. I was extremely stressed out. We didn't have any guests booked for the show. At the time, we didn't know you were supposed to. This was my first Super Bowl. We didn't know you were supposed to pre-set up all these interviews. I know that now, that if you want interviews, you got to start making emails a month prior. Emails, phone calls. Hey, just letting you know, we're going to be out there. Let me know if there's anybody you want to slide on our show or this show or that show, right? And that's how you get good name guests. We didn't have anybody. So starting from Monday morning, because I arrived on, I think it was Sunday. Monday morning, I'm not only engineering / producing the show. That was Joel Klatt and Mike Evans, but I had to produce the entire day, and no guests were booked. I had to walk around and beg and plead with all the handlers of these guests to come on our shows. And we actually, dude, we ended up getting a fuck ton of guests, but it was exhausting. I walked nonstop. And I know it's not like construction. It's not like a super physically taxing job, but walking around like begging people, hey, you're handling Emmitt Smith, right? Any chance we can squeeze him on with Joel Klatt and Mike Evans in Denver right there? Oh, come on. And then I, at the time, this was the Super Bowl that the Broncos should have gone, but Flacco, that motherfucker, had that mile-high miracle or whatever shit and beat the Broncos. The Broncos were the story. So that helped me too. And I kept using that angle. And we ended up getting all these guests pissed off because they played the 49ers that year. It pissed off the San Francisco radio station out there. That guy started mouthing off, the producer over there started mouthing off to the NFL Network saying that we didn't deserve shit. And he said, honestly, they're a better story than the fact that you guys are in the Super Bowl. The fact that the Broncos should be in the Super Bowl playing you guys is a better story than the fact that you guys are in the Super Bowl. It was so funny. That guy wanted to fight me. It was so fucking weird. It was exhausting, though. By Thursday, I was just wanting to bash my head into a wall. Long story short, these two former football players saw that I was stressed out one night on Thursday night as I was leaving dinner. And the one dude puts his hand on, these guys are a lot bigger than me. They put their hand on my shoulder and they're like, DeHuff, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm exhausted, and I was really upset with somebody of high authority. And they're like, listen, you joking around about getting high all the time on the air. Do you do that? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So me and these two former football players, these big dudes, we're walking down in the middle of the night in New Orleans. We find some brick wall where it's a back alley, basically, and we're smoking weed in the back alley in New Orleans, and one of the guys couldn't light the lighter. We're all giggling, right? So I had to light the pipe for these guys, and it was fun. It was great. And then we end up the mood was fantastic after that. Like I could feel all that negativity leave my mind and my body. And then at one point, though, I realized I'm high at night in New Orleans. Oh, God, there's a crackhead that I just walked over his feet. And I tell the guys, I was like, because they're talking about, oh, I love walking in public, stoned off my mind. And I said, guys, I don't. And I'll always remember this. They both put their hands on my shoulders. They're like, Scott, you don't have to hang out with us if you're not comfortable. We saw that you were in distress and we wanted to help you. And I was like, well, you guys did that. And I hate to say it. I hate being high in public. And then I was like, I'm going to go back. They're like, hey, thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you. It was this like big time bro moment that I had. And I can't tell you who it was with. But then I went back to my hotel room as fast as I could because I didn't want to deal with any crackheads. And then I get in there and I was sharing a room with my boss, and he had this big old bag of Gardettos. And guess what the fuck I did? I opened that bag of Gardettos, started chomping on it, watched SportsCenter. It was a great night. Great night. Marijuana can have some benefits. It can. Anyway, a lot to get to today. Hope you're having a great day. That was a quick story. Sorry. Make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. Remember, today's show is presented to you by the great people over at Kirkwall Group, as well as Bet Online. And you know what? This is the biggest betting weekend of the year, and that means there's more updated odds and props for Super Sunday. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. They have over hundreds of prop bets, MVP odds, and exclusive in-game live betting. BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion, whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor. BetOnline offers you everything and more to enhance the game day experience. Go ahead and visit betonline.ag today and make the game day action count a little bit more. It's BetOnline. The game starts here. By the way, I'm talking about. I was telling you that I was talking to my buddy Brandon Cristal, who's out there with Guerrilla Sports. But another great entity that you guys need to follow on social media at Mile High Sports. The guys from Mile High Sports are out there all week covering everything from top to bottom. MHS today's going to be doing their shows out there. So Sean Drotar, my guy, my bald-headed brother. Okay, he's not really related. In case you're wondering, Sean Drotar and Nate Lundy are going to be out there, as well as Anilo and Danny. They're going to be having a lot of fun and a lot of great content's coming your way. But you know what we need to do? Speaking of stuff that's great that's coming your way, let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
I like this story, how it starts. Not a fan of how it ends. This is the headline from the New York Post. An unruly plane passenger was duct taped to a seat on a very chaotic flight. I like that. I like that because I'm sick and tired of people being assholes on planes and getting away with it or thinking that they can get away with it. So the fact that the flight attendant, this guy is like, he apparently assaulted some female flight attendants by groping them and obviously saying a bunch of horrible things as well. So they duct taped him to a seat. I believe the picture I saw, they even taped his mouth shut. I like that. I know some people be like, oh my God, don't. No, he's being an asshole. He's lucky he didn't get beaten unconscious. Anyway, so there's that part of the story. I like that. This is the part where it takes a drastic turn. Like somebody's on that flight and they're like, this is my opportunity. This is my opportunity. Opportunity for what, you say? This dude is sitting there watching this chaos unfold, and he says to himself, this is the moment. This is the moment that I need to propose to my girlfriend. And that's what he did. They just restrained the dude, and he's like, yes, let's do it. Let's get down on one knee and say, honey, will you marry me? Apparently she said yes. This guy proposes marriage to his girlfriend only a couple rows away from where this guy is being duct taped and restrained. What? Talk about a story, though. I was terrible. I was so nervous when I proposed to my wife. I was going to broadcasting school, and I'm sitting there going, there's no way I'm going to be able to say this to my wife, Brandy. Get the words out. I'm fine up until I go to speak, and then I'd be mush, right? So I pre-recorded it. A classic media guy. I put it down on a CD. She still has a CD. It's a bunch of songs that I knew she liked. And then there was a song. I can't remember what song. It might have been Standing Right Next to Me. It's from the 8 Seconds soundtrack. I think that's what it is. And I could be wrong on that one. But anyway, then it's me popping on there and probably like, hey, Brandy, I really like you so much. Will you be my wife? Whatever it was. That's how I did it. Very pussy way to do it, okay? Sorry, I did it because I'd just be a fucking wreck. Sure, I could have done it better. Could have, would have, should have. But I didn't. But I think this guy's story at least is a little bit better because you can say, okay, yeah, you didn't just propose to me on a flight. You proposed to me while a guy 3 rows back was detained and duct taped with his mouth duct taped, as well as his whole body duct taped to a chair because he was being a perv and a dick. That's just wild to me. I'm curious. Again, guys, I want to know the statistics on this. When we talk about the people that here's the thing, like the guy wasn't recording it. Somebody else was recording it that didn't know who he was. They recorded the video. But the people that go out, say, like on the middle of the field during a baseball game and try to propose marriage, or they're on the Jumbotron propose. I want to know how many of those people are still married. Does it matter if it's this big show for asking the hand in marriage? It would be interesting if those people had more stable marriages, because one's a fucking idiot, the other one understands that he's a fucking idiot. He's a dumbass that proposed to me on a violent flight, and I love him for that. Okay, there's more of an understanding. I have a problem with the Jumbotron marriage proposals because I feel like that's pressuring the other individual to say yes. Because you tell me, ladies, guys, if your significant other is proposing marriage to you, you're on a giant jumbo screen, whether you're at a basketball hockey game, so there's roughly 20,000 people there, roughly, or you're at a football game and there's like, say, 70,000 people there. Aren't you more likely to say yes and not look like a bitch or an asshole than if it was at a park or somewhere more intimate like that? That's the problem I have with it. It's kind of like forcing their hand. Be like, you're going to say no in front of all these people? Are you going to look like the asshole? I'm just saying. It's kind of a dick move. Kind of a dick move. Now my CD player doesn't seem that bad of an idea. Right? Right. So what was it? Groundhog's Day was the other day. And I didn't realize this until this weekend. Colorado has its own version of Punxsutawney Phil. You know, Punxsutawney, the fat motherfucker, the fat groundhog in Pennsylvania, that dick, okay, living in luxury, that guy. Colorado, up in the Boulder area, Flatiron area, they have their version. His name is Flatiron Freddy. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Oh, look at him. He's in a little costume. How did they get that on him? That's fantastic. Then I start reading up on Flatiron Freddy. Guess how they get him in his costume? Because he looks adorable. I got to be honest. Well, that's because Flatiron Freddy is dead. Yep, Flatiron Freddy has been stuffed. He's a marmot that's been, fucking got ran over. I don't know. Got into some antifreeze, some shit. Choked on a biscuit. Don't know. Either way, the dude is dead. They stuffed it and they're like, let's make this a thing, huh? Let's put him on these, chairs and, take him different places. And he's just basically going to do the same thing that Punxsutawney Phil does. Only he's dead. That's creepy to me. Come on. That's just creepy. Not only do you have a stuffed dead animal, but you're like dressing it up and taking it places. And then people are surrounding it like, yay! Flatiron, what is it? Flatiron Freddy. Way to go. He saw a shadow. No, he didn't. He did not see a shadow. You know why I know that? Because he's dead. He's dead, you stupid fucks. Listen, it's already a hard pill to swallow, imagining that Punxsutawney Phil can see his shadow. Now you got a dead animal that somebody just jammed a bunch of sawdust up its ass, And then now you're saying that it can see its shadow? Come on, man. If this event with Flatiron Freddy isn't sponsored by a liquor company or a marijuana company, that's a shame, because it needs to be, because that's the only way I'd want to attend that whacked out shit. Be like, hey guys, we're 10 shots in. Let's bring out Flatiron Freddy. Woo! Flatiron Freddy! Yeah! Come on. It's so dumb. That's so bizarre. So I posted that. And there's a lot of people that knew that Flatiron Freddy existed. They didn't realize he was dead. I think they knew of it. They just assumed. They didn't do much research, and they never attended an event. They just assumed it was just some fucking animal. That they're like, it's the same thing as Punxsutawney Phil. No, Punxsutawney Phil is fucking alive. This guy, Flatiron Freddy, he's dead. So creepy. I posted the picture and said something about it being dead. J.R. Slick responded, are those old guys from Nederland? Is he the frozen dead guy's pet? Inquiring minds want to know. That's the other thing. Remember that? Do they still do frozen dead guy? Is that still a thing? I know they moved it. Then they may have moved it back up in Nederland. Nederland's a beautiful place here in Colorado. I've only had the opportunity of going there once, and I went hiking, and it was beautiful, beautiful. That would make sense. I got to be honest. JR might be onto something. If they're not next to each other, they need to be. The two famous dead things in Colorado, Flatiron Freddy and the frozen dead guy in Nederland. They need to hook up. They need to not like hook up. They need to just like start hanging out. Put them next to each other. That's where he should exist. Flatiron Freddy. Go sit next to the frozen dead guy until your number's called, and then you do your thing. We'll play dress up with you, and then we'll go push you back. So fucking weird. So weird. I don't understand people. Who has that idea? I got an idea, guys. That's like, I'm joking about them being 10 shots in. That's how you come up with an idea to dress up a dead animal and say, let's just do our version of Punxsutawney Phil. Yeah. See that? I ran over this marmot this morning, and it's in the back of my truck. I was going to go home and eat it, but, I got a little suit. Why do you have a little suit? Don't worry about it. Don't want to talk about it. I used to have dolls. But, and then they go home, dress it up, and they're like, this is fantastic. What a great idea. Sticking the eyeball back in. Maybe we should get it stuffed by a professional taxidermist. Good idea. Good idea. Fucking bizarre. Now I want to go to it next year. I want to go. Can I be the grand marshal or, whatever? I'll be the MC. Come on. Somebody's got to have an in over there. Is this his only gig, Flatiron Freddy? Does he do other things too? I want to know. I want to know more about Flatiron Freddy. Who knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy for Flatiron Freddy? I want to know. I want to be part of it. I want to be a part of his next adventure. So weird. So weird. What's not weird is if you're running a business and you need help with back of the house, you need someone with experience and is trustworthy. You know who you can't trust? Flatiron Freddy. But you can trust everybody over at Kirkwall Group. They got over 30 years of experience. Richard and the Kirkwall Group understands that you and your business deserve someone who's efficient, timely, accurate, cost-effective, focused on your success, and is working to save you money. Kirkwall Group. Sorry, Richard. Kirkwall Group can help you with your bookkeeping, accounting management services, CFO, controller, accounting manager, projects and support, as well as tax planning and preparation, income, property tax, sales, and use tax. What you need to do, go to kirkwallgroup.net. Kirkwall, like Captain Kirk with a K, kirkwallgroup.net. See everything they can do for you and your company. So check them out. Again, kirkwallgroup.net. If you go on there, you can set up a free 30-minute consultation with Richard and the Kirkwall Group. It's Kirkwall Group. They count what counts for you. Fantastic. Fantastic. Indeed. Indeed it is. Oh, you know what we need to do? That fucking Flatiron Freddy fucking blindsided me with that shit. Seriously, let me know. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. If you got the in with Flatiron Freddy, I want more. I want to know, and I want to be there. I want to be there. Speaking of being there, let's do it. We got some big news in the entertainment world. Let's jump into it.
He and his posse of rump rangers gallop across the country to find the latest news on celebrities.
I love your movie. It has got to be one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
It's entertainment news with Cowboy DeHuff.
Heck yeah, Betty. Scotty, how the heck is you? Oh, I'm good, Cowboy. How you doing? I'm fucking great. I'm fucking great. We got some good stuff to talk about. Okay, then get right to it, Cowboy. Heck, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just drank some coffee before coming on, so I got to calm my nerves. I'm a little bit too all balls right now. Okay, they busting at the seams. Shit, look at them. They're just screaming out like, Daddy, help me. Help me. I'm being squeezed to death in these chains. Anyway, the big news in the entertainment world today, Scotty, guess what it is? No freaking idea, Cowboy. That's why we pay you to come on. Good fucking point. Good point. Fantastic Four is coming out, and they got a new trailer out with their new movie. It looks pretty cool. It's let me find the name of this god dang movie. Oh, it's the Fantastic Four First Steps. It seems pretty cool. It's set in like the 1960s, so it looks kind of cheesy a little bit, but I gotta be honest. It looks interesting. I'm not a big comic book fan, but I did find this weird website that had all the origin stories of these characters. You want to hear them? Yeah, I guess. Did you check the to make sure that this website is good? No, I did not. It's me. I was busy. Again, I was drinking this morning. I said I was drinking coffee, but let's be honest. There's some whiskey in there because I'm a whiskey boy. All right, let's just go through this. They got like 4 main characters, okay? There's the invisible chick. And I'm reading this. It says, after hitting rock bottom with another later night of drinking, she decided to walk around while invisible eating people's food. Oh, that sounds fun. Then she was flatulating in their faces of these customers in high-end restaurants. And then, tired of the same old routine, she decided to put her skills to good use. Cowboy, no, not even freaking close. Her name's the Invisible Woman, and that's not her origin story at all. Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, what about this one? Rubber Guy. Him and his giant hog left the adult film industry due to being typecast in a series of films called Rubber Dick. Dick creates a black hole. He then decided to fight crime after dealing with all that nonsense with his big, giant rubber schlong. That's not right either. His name's Mr. Fantastic, and he's stretchy. And okay, well, maybe he has a giant hog. I don't know. I mean, I guess he can make it big. He was in a movie called Rubber Dick. Dick creates a black hole. Oh, he could fuck himself. Oh, my God. Oh, God, gross. Anyway, yeah, now you're seeing. There's a lot of stuff. And then he was like, no, I don't want to do that no more. That ain't no balls. Anyway, Cowboy, this website is terrible. Terrible. Don't know where you found this, but I kind of want to see how it ends. I got to be honest. All right. Fire Bro. That's his name, I'm pretty dang sure. After a tough life of being a human lighter at local rundown nightclubs to lighting birthday candles at Chuck E. Cheese in exchange for pizza, I gotta be honest, Chuck E. Cheese, they got some good pizza. He decided to fight crime by lighting fires. Well, yes, he fights crime with fire, but I don't think he was doing that for, for money and for pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. His name's the Human Torch, or that's what they call him. Okay? Just finish this off, please, please. Hey, that's what your mama said. Hey, that's my line, because I banged her last night. Connery, this isn't your thing. Not your thing. Hey, guess what? Your mama's my thing. Okay. Cowboy, finish it off, please. Please. All right, finally. Turd man. Okay? It's not. Scotty, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Turd man. He looks like a turd that's been sitting in the sun too long. Well, I don't think you're wrong completely. Okay? It's not really an origin story either. What do you mean? He's a turd. There's not much going on there, man. He's plopped out onto the ground. People are like, oh my God, look at that turd. He could be a superhero. His name's The Thing, and he's a rock. And he says it's clobbering time and stuff like that. Anyway, so Cowboy, that was very disappointing. I'm so disappointed in you. Oh, that sounds like you, like when your mama talks to you. She says, oh, Scotty, I'm so disappointed in you. Why do you have to be so mean? That's not all balls. Oh, I'm just kidding, Scotty. Anyway, so the big news with this Fantastic Four is they're going to be out there. I guess they're going to be teaming up or fighting Galactus. Is that how you say it? No, that's not how you say it, but whatever. As well as Silver Surfer, and it's going to be fun. And it comes out in theaters in July 25th. So there you go, Scotty. Thanks so much, Cowboy. That was brutal. I got to be honest. That was brutal. Turd man, fire bro, rubber guy, and invisible chick. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. That being said, of the previous movies of Fantastic Four, I can watch those. I don't maybe because I'm not a comic book nerd. I can watch those and be entertained for different reasons. I like the one with, I can't remember her name, but Chris Evans is Johnny Storm. I like that one. It's fine. It's very bubblegumish, The one with Miles Teller, that one's pretty good. This one seems fine. It's with Pedro. Is it Pedro Pascal? He's in fucking everything. By the way, I just watched Gladiator 2 with him in it. That was good. That was a good movie. This, I'm not going to go rush to the theaters. I was reading a lot of reviews or comments on the trailers for this, and people brought up a good observation. In the trailer, there's not one scene that they show where Reed Richards, the guy that plays Mr. Fantastic, there's nothing showing his arms or his superpower. And the theory is that maybe it's because they haven't finished that stuff yet, or they're still working on that. And maybe they did some screenings, and maybe it didn't test well with how they showed it before, or maybe it just entails a lot of CGI, which I don't know anything about that world. So I imagine there's a lot of tech going in around his powers. So I'll see it. As of right now, I have no interest in going to see it in theaters, but I wouldn't turn it down. I guess superhero movies they're usually pretty good in a theater. So while I won't go out of my way for it, but if somebody wanted to go, and like my wife and kids or whatever, they're like, hey, we should go, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? So you tell me, are you excited for it? Galacticus, I didn't even know. I'm not a huge comic book guy, but he was formerly a mortal man. He is a cosmic entity who consumes planets to sustain his life force and serves a functional role in the upkeep of the primary Marvel continuity. Whatever that means, okay? I don't know how the fuck they're supposed to defeat it. It's just kind of weird. Or do they just go, you know what? Don't eat us. That guy over there just shit his pants. Do you want to eat a turd sandwich, Galacticus? Huh? Is that what you want, you sicko? What do you like, my dog? My dog Juliet that eats shit? Oh, and then he just fucking leaves because he's embarrassed. Go eat Mars. The only people that are on there are Elon Musk's robots and shit. And he's like, that's a good idea. I'll go over there and eat it. All right. Because that's what he sounds like. Weird voice, but that's what it is. Go eat Pluto. Nobody likes Pluto anymore. It's this bastard little nugget out in the fucking middle of nowhere. The reason why it's not even an actual planet anymore is because any little slight breeze and it gets off its orbit, right? Somebody farts and Pluto's off somewhere else. It'll be good. It might be good. It might be good. Speaking of good, let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with DeHuff.
That soundbite always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. The biggest sports story over the weekend, and still just like jarring people, is the fact that Luka was traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is headed to the Mavericks, or is with the Mavericks now. Completely shocking trade that has conspiracy theorists just wearing that tinfoil hat like mad. And did you see the video of Mark Cuban on the sidelines as he sees the notification that Luka just got traded to the Lakers? He's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? It's wild. It's wild. And Luka's dealing with an injury that he's looking to come back. Here's the way I'm going to look at it is Luka's younger than Davis. Luka's in like his 7th season. Davis, I want to say, is in his 10th season. So he's got a little bit of youth on him. LeBron is ready to retire at any moment, right? This could be his final season. It should be his final season. But I think what is happening is the NBA realizes they need a superstar with the Lakers, and they don't have one once LeBron leaves. You subtract LeBron James from the Lakers, who do you have? Essentially, a bunch of miscellaneous guys to knock all them, right? To say that they're nothing. But what ends up happening is they trade Davis, who's a serviceable player. He's not a shit. Trade him, put Luka in there, and now the piece is set for the next, say, 5 years that you at least have Luka in there playing for the Lakers. And Luka takes on who? A lot. Nikola Jokic with the Nuggets. So that brings a lot of revenue, a lot of excitement and eyes to the poster child franchise of the NBA. That's the Lakers. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Is it's purely a long-term move. And I guess the guy that with the Mavericks that was involved in the trade, he's best buds with the GM with the Lakers, and there's all this like shady shit. Apparently none of the other teams in the NBA even were hinted at this happening. So that's where the conspiracy of the NBA needs this to happen. And it also seems like that Luka wasn't fitting in with the higher ups with the Mavericks, so they just got rid of him. So it's bizarre. I think in the long run, it makes sense. Right now, it's people are still trying to process it. I think it was Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. last night in the Nuggets game, we're just like, we're still trying to wrap our minds around it. Michael Porter Jr. obviously is being rumored to be getting traded from the Nuggets. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm not a huge Nuggets fan, so I can't tell you if that would be a good move or a bad move. You tell me. You tell me. But I'm I guess a romantic when it comes to, I think back when the Nuggets won the championship, and I would like to see a lot of those same guys make it to the championship again, because I think that would be nice. But I don't know enough, guys. I don't know enough. Give me your thoughts on the Luka trade. Why do you think it happened? Do you think there's something fishy going on? You can hit me up on my socials at DeHuff Podcast. You can email me, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com. I was telling you that there's a lot of stations out at Super Bowl week in New Orleans, and I was looking at 850 KOA's their I guess their Twitter feed, and they posted this great little take. It's not very long. They're doing a good job out there. They talked with Steve I always say his name wrong. Spagnuolo. I don't know. I always fuck it up. Anyway, they talked to him, asked him about his thoughts on Broncos quarterback Bo Nix.
I'm going to tell you what, he's the real deal. I mean, listen, he grew as a rookie. I thought he played pretty good that first game he played in, and obviously in the last game he tore us up, but they got a bright future with him. I'm really impressed with him.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Because there's still so many people out there, and maybe part of it is they're just the trolls that are trying to, poke the bear, trying to get a reaction, be like, oh, I don't know about Bo Nix, he sucks. The sky's the limit for this dude, for Bo Nix. It's exciting, guys. We're going into this offseason with extreme confidence in who the quarterback is. And now, instead of going, well, who's going to be the quarterback and who can we get to play with the quarterback, is we got the quarterback. What weapons are we going to put around him now? Who do we have? And what can we add? What can we subtract? It's a good feeling. And I can only imagine how happy George Payton, Sean Payton, all those guys behind the scenes, quote unquote, behind the scenes, how they're feeling going into this free agency, going into the draft. It's going to be a lot different of a perspective, because there's so much confidence around Bo Nix. You got the defensive coordinator for the Broncos' biggest rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are in the Super Bowl, saying that he's really good. He looked really good the first time we played him, and obviously they unleashed hell. He didn't say that. Essentially, unleashed hell against us in the last game of the regular season. These are good things to hear. And if you're not fully settled in on the idea that Bo Nix is the guy for the Denver Broncos, you need to take a step back, put down the hate juice, and realize that's the guy moving forward. And everybody's seeing it. If you're riding the hate train, you need to get off. Because even guys like Patrick Mahomes sees it.
He's a competitor. That's the biggest thing that I always look for in quarterbacks. It's not always about the throwing mechanics, it's not always about the legs you can run. And can you compete? Can you go out there and find ways to win? And I saw that from him all season long. And hopefully he don't win a lot of games against us. But I know he's going to be a great quarterback in this league.
I like hearing that. Listen, I'm watching that video. Again, thanks to 850 KOA for the great sound, because obviously they're out there covering Super Bowl week, and their angle is always going to be Colorado slants. That's their angle. It's it's good to hear somebody like Patrick Mahomes say that. We told you after the first time those guys played, I want to say it was week 10 when the Broncos played the Chiefs for the first time this season, that Mahomes, after the game, was giving Sean Payton a hug and said, "You got a real one in Knicks." And listen, Mahomes says it. He's like, "I wish he's going to have a lot of success. Hopefully not against us." They see what they got in a competitor with Bo Nix. He's legit. He fires people up. He has that energy that we've all been waiting to see from a quarterback. Not since the Broncos had Peyton Manning. Not since Jake Plummer. Not since John Elway. Those are the guys. He has that same mentality. That's exactly what Mahomes is saying. He might not. It's just like Mahomes. Mahomes doesn't always do things that are quote unquote proper. Throwing off balance, throwing across his body, no look passes. Sure, they can be reckless at times, but if they complete is pure genius. He sees a lot of that, and that's a lot of what Bo Nix does. He's very athletic, he's very competitive, and he's smart. Just like all those other guys I mentioned, including Patrick Mahomes. The Broncos have the real deal with Bo Nix, and it just baffles me the amount of people that are still on social media saying, "I'm not comfortable with Bo Nix." The fuck? How far up your ass is your head? Bo Nix is legit, man. Get on the party train. Because somebody asked this question on social media the other day. They're like, do you think the Broncos are Super Bowl contenders in the next 3 years? I think the Broncos, maybe not this next season, but the year after it, they will be in the AFC Championship game. And they'll be that legit. But there's a lot of things that need to happen in order for that to come true, right? Broncos need a better run game, whether that's going through the draft, going through free agency, and getting a better set of running backs and or upgrading the offensive line. Somebody brought up a good point the other day. They're like, you remember the days, DeHuff, when Broncos could put any running back there and they'd be like 1,000-yard rusher? I'm like, yeah, I do. And that was a fantastic time. And that makes me think, as much as we want to bag on individuals like Javonte Williams, I think the heat needs to be more towards the offensive line. Also towards coaching. Because when you look at these solid running backs, and not to say that the Broncos have a Saquon Barkley or what's his face with the Ravens. The thing is, they're the quote unquote bell cows, where they get the majority of the snaps, so they can get in the groove. They can take the feel of the ball and how the line is working and how the defense is working and learn from it and manipulate it as need be. So the thing is, I think there's two problems. You see with Estime, McLaughlin, is it McLaughlin? And Javonte Williams, you see those guys, they're stable of running backs. Part of it is you need to ride one and see what they do. Let them get the groove for a full fucking game and see how they handle it. But you need to upgrade the offensive line. That, for whatever reason, and I think part of it is Pro Football Focus is ruining logic when it comes to the ability of an offensive line because they're looking at certain little things and giving grades, and they're like, Garrett Bowles, by the way, he didn't have any penalties this week, so he's getting a 97 or whatever it is. But they're missing, like, he may have thrown blocks, but he didn't open any holes type of thing. And there's a difference between a good offensive line and a great offensive line. The Broncos have a decent offensive line. I wouldn't even say it's a good offensive line. So to me, this offseason, the Denver Broncos need to upgrade the offensive line. That's the number one priority. Maybe get a few more weapons as far as receivers go. Add, subtract as needed. Maybe if there's somebody out there that just shines super bright for the running back, get that guy. But part of me thinks that if they just ride with one of those guys for the running backs and they have an upgraded offensive line, that the Broncos offense changes dramatically in the right direction. Just imagine the pressure that gets removed from the back of Bo Nix and the passing game if all of a sudden they have a threat on the ground because the offensive line is actually doing what they're supposed to do. That's where, going back to what I was saying, is the Denver Broncos are very close to being AFC championship worthy competitors. But just like anything, you got to make the right moves. You got to coach the right way, and the players have to execute. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just that easy. You get the right players in there, and then boom, we're Super Bowl contenders. It's not that easy. I wish it was. But I have so much confidence in the Denver Broncos right now. It's fun. It is really fun. We were going through some years as Bronco fans where it was kind of embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I say some years. It was a long run. Now, like I'm at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day with my kid. It was yesterday with my kids, and we're looking at, God, man, I wish I had a gift card to go to Dick's because holy crap, there's some cool merch there. I just like good sporting goods merch. That's my thing. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be from one specific place. But I'm like looking at the Buff gear, which, by the way, real quick, side note, my favorite color scheme when it comes to the CU Buffs is the gray. I just love that. I love the way that looks. I love it when they wear those uniforms. Anyway, but it's neat to have that energy back towards the CU Buffs. But I'm looking at all the Bronco gear. Like, oh, this is cool. Patrick Surtain. My son's like, ooh, Dad, can I get a Patrick Surtain jersey or a Bo Nix jersey? No. Look at the price tag, bro. No. These are cool, though. But it's neat. It's neat. There's such a good vibe around the Broncos again. It's not necessarily just my family. It's just everybody. You know, everybody has some good vibes. There's good vibes in the Colorado sports realm, with the exception of the Colorado Rockies. But when you look at the CU Buffs, you look at the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets, Denver Broncos, there's good vibes. And hell, you could throw in the CSU Rams. If you're a diehard Rammy, you still have good vibes around that. It's just the Rockies are that, oh, shit. I forgot you guys were there. Oh, that's embarrassing. Maybe you should leave now, Rockies. But it's a good vibe in Colorado. Geez, pitchers and catchers are about to report. Wouldn't that be nice if the Rockies were decent this year? Holy shit, that would be fun. My God. If the Rockies were competitive this year, the greatest sports town in the United States would be Colorado, Denver metro area, right? That's the missing equation. That's the missing element to the equation is the Colorado Rockies. Rockies, Monforts, step up your shit. You got Charlie Blackmon as the assistant to the GM. Let's get shit rolling. Let's be relevant this year. Come on, that would be fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, real quick, let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Matt OFP. Matt, first of all, before we read your comments, you're a son of a bitch. He said, I watched DeHuff podcast, episode 703 today on Spotify. My thoughts? Number one, he's not the worst thing I've endured this past decade. Number two, he's a pro and camera comfortable. Okay. Number three, he's indecisive with the mic position. Fact. Number four, it's not fair. A great voice can't come with a remotely decent face. You're a fucking dick. I like it. Well, it's funny because I didn't realize you could do that until I was talking to somebody. And then I was like, wait. You can put video attached to the audio on Spotify. And what's cool is you can toggle back and forth if you want to watch the video of as long as they do it. So starting with episode 703, so starting with February's episodes, I'm putting the video attached to the Spotify episode for DeHuff Uncensored. I think that's kind of cool because maybe you're a video watcher for podcasts, maybe you're not. Well, this gives you the choice, and you can go back and forth. I think that's cool. It was neat. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh no fucking way. That's neat. Once I figured out how to do it, and for me as the uploader, it's just I just have to have access to this one thing, which I already did. I just didn't realize. Oh, you click on this and upload it. Oh, that's easy. So I'm going to start doing that with Spotify. I decided yesterday, I was like, starting in February, I'll start putting the episodes back up on TikTok, but for whatever reason, it's way out of the algorithm. And they're only getting like 20 views at the most. It's fucking annoying. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's like they shut it down, then they restarted, and then... And I was telling my wife about that. She said she's heard that from several other quote unquote influencers or TikTokers, whatever, saying that the same thing happened to them. The only thing is I didn't have a shit ton of followers. So it's weird. It's weird, but I don't care. But now that I can put it on Spotify, you got to check it out. Be like Matt OFP. And going back to what he was saying, number three, he said he's indecisive with the mic position. If you watch the videos, again, you can watch this on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Again, hardly anybody watches me on YouTube, but there are people. And now on Spotify, I mess with my microphone constantly. And part of it too is if you notice, if you watch, I'm moving my body around a lot. There's several reasons. One, ADHD, I guess. I'm just constantly fidgety. Two, my hip hurts. It's uncomfortable. So I move around a lot because of that. And number four, when he said, it's not fair, a great voice can't come with a remotely decent face. Listen, the ugly stick, it's a real thing. And when I was a child, I was beaten with it. Hey, we got this ugly stick. Where's Scotty? Don't hit me with the ugly stick. Ah! And boom. So stupid. Matt, you're a dick. I like it though. Wait, what? I don't like your dick. I'm just saying I like what you wrote. He took some time. Again, if you want to check me out on Spotify. I think that's neat. I think it's a neat way, and not everybody's doing it. Maybe there might be a good chunk of your favorite podcasts that are doing it. It says watch or switch to video, and then once you're on that, it says switch to audio. It's just a simple click for you, the consumer. Pretty cool. So if you want to check it out, follow me anywhere you find podcast at DeHuff Podcast. Or like I said, you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff at DeHuff Podcast. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show and watching it and making it the #1 comedy/funny podcast in Colorado, as well as the #1 art podcast. I still haven't done anything funny with that yet. I don't know. I need to get a black turtleneck. That's what I need to do, and then shoot a video, make it black and white, and then have like a banana, or no, not a banana. Fuck that. I'll duct tape an eggplant to a wall. That's what I'll do. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Thanks for supporting the show. I truly thank you guys so much. It's amazing. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button as well. And whether you're listening or watching, I can't thank you enough. Big thanks to Kirkwall Group. Go check them out at kirkwallgroup.net, as well as Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.